Morning all, welcome to Kicking Dust. So what we're doing today is we're again looking at some old footage for no real reason. I think it's just because it seems a shame to waste some of the better games that I've had. So this one's a pretty good one because obviously we had some pretty good opponents, but the game is not the thing. Today we are talking about the wider game in fact, and I think I wanted to maybe talk about some of the faction warfare stuff going on. Now it's interesting because I think a lot of I didn't quite get this until I actually did the last video I've just done, and you have one of those moments when you kind of you're talking and then you kind of have a realization as to what you're saying. I know my mouth is way ahead of my brain. So it was funny because as I actually went Christmas shopping yesterday, because in terms of timeline this is like a week before Christmas right now. So yeah, I mean, how's your shopping going? Have you got your eggnog? I don't even know what eggnog bloody is. Is it like some egg-based drink? It just sounds horrible. It just sounds terrible, really does. No, I went shopping in our fair capital city of London yesterday, and as I was walking around getting bustled and smelling armpits of the tube and that, I didn't actively go smelling them. I just couldn't help it, honest. I've been to see a doctor about that. I was starting to think about how the FW is going in Dust. And it's kind of interesting because I think really it does come down to what the loyalty point store has that drives who goes and does what. So interestingly enough, the OP fit, well, again, post in the comments if this is true, but because I haven't seen it for a while, but the OP fit at the moment did seem to be the Galante assault suit, medium assault suit with the AR. I know certainly the AR doesn't feel like it's kind of the pro fit anymore, but I got the impression that pretty much most of the people were running Galante, most of the good corps were running Galante, I think just because they then got access to these kind of I guess beneficial suits. Post in the comments if that's true or not. That certainly seemed to be the only rationale I could think for it. Now other than that, there does seem to be, I think, what we've termed in EVE for years and years, almost a whole decade, we've deemed bandwagoning, which is where pretty much everybody is owning space in EVE, and they're all pretty weak. Most alliances are actually phenomenally weak in reality, and they project a very sort of powerful image to others because they don't want to be attacked. Because the worst thing in EVE was that it was defending. You never wanted to defend ever, because what generally happened is, quote, a goon rush, which is where a load of people would join together and rush somebody. And bandwagoning is when pretty much, you could have an alliance of 20 alliances that you're friendly. So you could be in a coalition of 20 friends, thousands, tens of thousands of players, and then all of a sudden one morning you'll wake up and you'll realize you don't have access to the coalition forum anymore, and you don't have this, and you've got a mail telling you get your stuff out. And that was the most horrible part of any game in EVE, was the fact that people would just literally bandwagon against you. And lo and behold, it's human nature, by the way, and lo and behold, that's exactly what's happened in Dust now, where the four empires, the mighty empires, are all pretty much the same, really, aren't they? In terms of their story, their back. I know people like to sort of say, "Oh, admire this," and "Oh, that's role playing." In terms of actually, the thing, they're all equal. There's not really an underdog in any way, because it's a game. But what is happening is that the bandwagon is making the underdog. So basically what's happening is everybody has goon rushed the Galante, and everybody has rushed the Mimitar. And that's probably because obviously those two are mutually exclusive as well. So running Galante does not hinder Mimitar and vice versa. So that's it's a very interesting kind of thing. But it did mean from the get-go that Amar and Caldari were going to be gimped way from the start. Now Amar is pretty useless anyway. I mean, other than things like maybe the scrambler rifle and some of the weapons, it's a bit of a crap story. It's a bit like the Mimitar one, because there's no vehicles. There's not really anything of great value to go for there, as also with the Mimitar one. What I would say is that the Caldari one is a lot better, because obviously you've got the vehicles, you've got the dropships, you've got the suits, you've got rail rifles, you've got some pretty good weapons there. But because nobody can win a match, I mean, what I heard that really depressed me was that people were going sort of like 20 matches in a day, and they won one. I mean, that's pretty bad. But then again, when you've got so many people spamming Galante, and unfortunately because there is now an incentive to win, people are, like I said in previous videos, the tryhards are literally throwing Aurum and Prototype at the Galante FW matches. So in essence, they're kind of just completely engineering the match to begin with. Again, it's Eve, nothing wrong with that, nothing you can do about that. That's life. It sucks, but hey, it sucks to be you, bro. And you know, that's just the way it's going to be for I think quite some time, until probably some of the some of the Galante stuff isn't as good. Also, maybe you'll say, I think, as long as some of the Galante, the corps running Galante maybe just migrate to somewhere else, because certainly what I get from running Mimitar is it's not really that difficult. We win pretty much. I mean, I think we've lost one match. Now think about it, we've probably only lost one match. And that's a quite boring thing, really. So I can see why, you know, we started to run a few Caldari ones, but it was like a car crash. It really was. It was so painful fighting the tryhards. It's just, And I think unless you bring out your Proto Aurum fits, you know, which do you really want to do that? I mean, maybe it's just me being a more casual gamer, but certainly from running the Caldari one, it was a bit of a ghetto. The Caldari also blueberries, as people refer to them. I hate the term myself, but the Caldari other members of the team were very unorganized as well. So it got me thinking, maybe what would be nice is to have, firstly, why do we have to run skirmish every flipping map in FW? Please give us domination. Please give us ambush, whatever. Just give us a range of things. Just make it a different scenario by which the engagement is happening. And I think secondly, maybe make it more interesting by having different number of teams. So one of the things I really always quite looking forward to is when the matchmaking, you know, F's up and you get like a 6v6, because those matches are hilarious, because then it's proper squad versus squad. And I thought, well, that'd be nice as well. So maybe just have the odd match where it's literally 6v6, but maybe it's, you know, the logic behind it is only going to be six squads, so it will sense that there's a squad of 6. If it can, I don't know, but if it could sense there's a squad of 6, then it will put it against another squad. That'd be pretty nice as well, because it's always nice to run against the squad, because you could be the best squad in the world, but you'll still lose if you've got, you know, a squad of 6 and then 10 randoms who are just not doing anything against a squad of 2 or 3 organized squads on the enemy team. There is always that problem. So I think that'd be quite cool. I'd like to see that. I hope they are going to maybe make the whole mechanic a bit more interesting, because, and I'm not saying it's uninteresting at the moment at all, but I just think it would be nice to have a bit more, you know, range, a bit more breadth and depth. But we'll see. I think, you know, as it stands, I think really, you know, if you run Kadari or Amar, I feel very sorry for you. And I think, just look at it this way, the loyalty point store stuff isn't really that good as well. One of my next kind of topic a discussion is the fact that the loyalty point store stuff is actually pretty regular stuff. It's, you know, at best you can have Prototype, the Aurum version of the Prototype weapon. I don't believe, and I'm willing to be corrected on this, I don't believe that there's actually anything in the loyalty point store that is actually better than the Prototype variant that you buy for ISK. If that's the case, please, well, if that's not the case, please post in the comments and tell me what I've missed, because I did a really, really rigorous 30-second search through the loyalty point store and thought, crap. I could buy the Republic Core Flail up, but what's the point? I'm rich. Crap. And that's when I thought, that's my sort of, you know, realization was, I thought we had like better suits with lower CPU. I thought we had this. I thought we had that. So maybe I've missed something. My research for this was about as rigorous as it generally is. I took a quick look and realized, hang on, there's not really anything there. But, you know, I think it's more of a kind of thing to do. So people want to, like, say, I'm a level 10, you know, Republic warrior, as they, you know, strut their drop suit +3, and it does feel a little bit like that, because I know, you know, if you do the maths, you actually could just run all of them. You could run loyalty points for every single one of them. So you know, that there is the ability to do that as well. But to be honest, what I would do as a recommendation, just a recommendation, what I would do is go through the loyalty point store, write down everything that you want. So Federation Madruga, make a little Christmas list. You know, Santa, please bring me a Federation Madruga with a blaster so I can kill unbelievers in your name, thy god. You know, that got a bit weird, but you know, do something like that, and then you know at least what you're looking to do. So if you go and run, you know, Caldari, let's say you want the state Gunlogy. That costs something like 505 points, I believe, and a little bit of ISK. So what you need to do then is you need to win at least 2 matches. So once you've won 2 matches, you can buy one of them. It could be as simple as that. I found that probably worked quite well for me. It's just I made a quick list of all the things that I would kind of like. A lot of the stuff is just not worth having, so things like the complex shield extenders, they're no different to the ISK ones, and they're not that expensive, the ISK ones, but that's just my opinion. So again, I think it really is just coming down to, let's see what maybe additional things will come into the store. I don't really see anything that's actually worth the strain and stress of really going for FW to get, other than maybe the tanks, because obviously that does reduce the cost of them quite a bit. You could, with a booster, get something like 500 points a match. So in theory, if I ran a Galante match every match, I could be earning myself a Galante tank. But, you know, is it worth it when the tanks are so cheap anyway, and I'm so rich, and yes, I'm bragging, and oh yeah. I don't know, but I think as it stands, you know, FW is amazing fun, so I'd recommend people do it, but I think, you know, don't get too bent out of shape for being on the winning or losing side. It's just a game at the end of the day. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.